Alright, so in this video I'm going to be telling you guys the top 5 tips to speed up your PS4, PS4 Pro, or even PS4 Slim and make it run at 100% again if it's not running how it was when you originally got it. So do keep in mind that the PlayStation 5 is on its way very soon, so just be careful with how much and what you do to your PS4, because if you're planning on getting that PS5, certain things just wouldn't make sense for you to do. And you'll get exactly what that means in a few minutes once I get through the video. Alright, so now tip number 5 is just turn off your PS4 more often. Every device needs a break. Rest mode is awesome, but if you're at home and you know there's nothing going on in any of the games that you play, like any updates or anything like that, then consider turning your console off completely. Like, for example, if I have to, I wake up in the morning, I'm going to make breakfast, then I'll go to the bathroom, something like that. Maybe all that combined, make coffee, maybe all that combined is like an hour. I'll just turn off my PS4 completely for an hour, not rest mode, turn it off completely for 1 hour, just to give it a little bit of a break. Not necessarily that it needs it, but it definitely can hurt the console, and it's done nothing bad for me in the past, and obviously it'll just do nothing but good for you by giving the console a break. So tip number 5, very basic, probably won't notice that much of a difference if you turn off your PS4 more often, but I just recommend that when you have free time, turn off the PS4 for maybe an hour here and there. Alright, so now tip number 4 is to rebuild the database every single month on your PS4. I know some people have never done this ever because it looks a little challenging to do, but it's actually extremely easy to do. And again, I recommend to do this monthly. You could do it every 2 months if you want, but I personally do this tip monthly because nothing but good things have come from this for me. This is the first thing that I did to speed up my PS4 years ago, and I noticed huge differences from this. So rebuilding the database on your PS4 will just essentially reorganize your hard drive so that it can more efficiently find the data it's looking for, decreasing load time slightly in some scenarios, but usually never resulting in a fix for lag. So again, rebuilding database for the most part will not ever fix lag. It'll just kind of make your PS4 a little snappier. Sometimes your menus may lag. Sometimes it could be because of a faulty hard drive or a dying hard drive, or its database needs to be rebuilt. So I'm telling you guys, you definitely should take advantage of this tip. Again, this is indeed something I do monthly because it's just something I've never seen bad come from it, and it's just overall been good for me to do. So in order to rebuild the database on your PS4, hold down the power button for about 7 seconds or until you hear 2 beeps. This will put your PS4 into safe mode, and then from here, you're going to select the option that says rebuild database, wait for the process to finish, and you are good to go. Your database will have been rebuilt. You notice when you load back into your PS4, your home screen will be kind of like reorganized and stuff like that. Nothing got deleted whatsoever. Don't worry. Alright, so now moving on to tip number 3, it's to make sure that your hard drive is in full. You can check your hard drive capacity by navigating to Settings, System Storage Management, and then to Free Space. And then from there, if you happen to realize that your PS4 hard drive is pretty filled, then doing tip number 4, which was to rebuild your database, could be very helpful. Now, however, issues may still persist regardless because the drive may just be so full, and that's fine, and that brings you to do one of 2 things, and that's either delete some games or even pictures and videos from your PS4 from the capture library, or you're going to actually do tip number 2, which is to replace the hard drive inside of your PS4 with an SSD. I personally recommend an SSHD. Now, before I get into why you should possibly do this, I just want to say that you can add an external hard drive to your PS4 as well. This will allow you to delete some more content, or about half the content, of the data that you already have on your internal hard drive from your PS4, then reinstall / move it over to the new drive. This way the internal drive isn't completely cluttered and filled up and lagging because of that. Now, on top of this, by replacing and upgrading the actual internal storage drive on your PS4, if you decide to go down that route, which takes about 3 minutes to do, literally very quick to do, you'll see a speed bump because, of course, how crappy the regular PS4 stock hard drive is. I believe the stock hard drive and all the PS4s are 5400 RPM, and usually if you see a hard drive in any computer at all these days, it's going to be a 7200 RPM hard drive. So you will notice a boost in load times and booting up your PS4 and stuff like that, which is awesome. Now, I personally upgraded my PS4 to an SSHD with 1TB of storage, and it's been completely fine. Now, do keep in mind, that was 2 years ago, but it's been running fine ever since then. So an SSHD, if you don't want to invest in an SSD, which prices have significantly reduced on at this point in time, I would recommend going for an SSHD. But again, SSDs are definitely worth the money. It's just, do you actually want to spend it? Because the cost will be literally a fraction of the PS5 cost next year. It's not going to be an insignificant cost. It's going to cost you a pretty penny, and it'll cost you like 1/3 or even like minimum 1/4 of the PS4's cost or PS5's cost. So just keep that in mind. It is definitely worth it, but it will cost you a pretty penny, and especially if you're getting a PS5, I don't know if it's really worth it. Maybe an SSHD, if you must replace your hard drive at all, is the way to go. Alright, so before we get into number one, let's just pause real quick and make sure that we have dropped the like on the video. This way, you know, you're showing me that this video did help you out and that you did enjoy the video and everything like that. And also make sure if you really did enjoy the video enough to drop it a subscription. This way, in the future, when I upload videos like this or even Call of Duty Zombies related, that you guys are notified about that and are ready to go once those videos come out. So that's going to be it. Let's move straight into tip number one. Alright, so that brings us to tip number one, which none of you are probably expecting, and it's to buy appropriate tools and clean the inside of the PlayStation. Now, when I say buy appropriate tools, you're going to go on Amazon or just going to go on the internet and look up the appropriate screwdrivers you need to take the casing, the full casing off of your PlayStation. Now, I already had these tools laying around, but a lot of you guys don't, and the reason why I had them laying around, by the way, is because I like repaired iPhones and iPad and stuff like that, so I had a whole bunch of screwdrivers and small stuff like that. But I highly recommend you go on Amazon, you know, find the right stuff, and then disassemble your PS4 in terms of the shell. Don't take any components out of it. The only thing you may have to remove, that you probably will have to remove, is the hard drive, which is fine, because again, that's really easy to, you know, just swap out and pull out. It's literally just a tray. But in terms of the actual PS4, once you take off the shell, you're going to just put the actual motherboard with all the components on it to the side, somewhere safe, and then the shell is what you're going to really be going to town on. You're going to want to like literally wash the shell out in the shower, get rid of all the dust on it, and I'm telling you guys, that will help out a lot. But then the next thing you're going to do after the shell is done, because again, we separated the shell from the main board. So once the shell is done, the next thing you're going to want to go and do is take some compressed air cans, and then you're going to want to just spray those bastards. Make sure you're doing it right too. You don't want to tip the can upside down, sideways. Make sure you have it right side up. Make sure you follow the instructions correctly. This way you don't get any liquid anywhere. As long as you do stuff right, you won't ruin anything. And then you're going to just want to spray this compressed air in the fans of your PS4. You're going to notice that there's a whole bunch of dust all over the PS4, and whether or not you want to clean that is up to you, because again, it could take a very, very long time, because you don't want to damage any components. Maybe you got a cotton swab. I don't think I've ever said that in my life. A Q-tip with some alcohol on it and rub around the edges on the plastic, or get a rag with some kind of cleaner on it and just clean around the edges, but be very careful with what you're cleaning. And that's pretty much it. But if I had to recommend anything, it would be to just take the shell off your PS4, again, using the right tools, and then clean the shell completely in like the shower or something. Have the actual main components inside separate, and then once you're done with the shell and stuff like that, while you're waiting for it to dry off and stuff, you know, I'd recommend taking compressed air cans and really just going to town on the fans, because the fans are the main reason why people's PS4 is blue screen. Sometimes it's the game, but a lot of the times their PS4s just overheat, and the fans are the reason because of that. There's no ventilation in the fans because, you know, they had their PS4 for 4 to 6 years, and the fans were just sitting there getting clogged up with dust and dust and dust and dust. It doesn't mean you're dirty. You don't have to be dirty at all for dust to build up. I'm just saying that more likely than not, if your PS4 is running like shit, and especially if it's overheating, your fans need a serious cleaning, and this is definitely the way to do it. But that's going to be it for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you drop it a big thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. This way you don't miss some more cool PS4 tips like this, and mainly some Call of Duty videos, because that's exactly what I post on my channel every single day. And I'll see you guys later. Have a good day.